Hi, I'm an old guy and I do maths. This is an inequality. 2x cubed minus 6x squared minus 4x is less than negative 12. How do we go about solving this? Well, to a considerable extent, we treat it as if it were not an inequality but an equality. We solve it in the same way that we would any other cubic. So the first thing to do is to get it into a form in which we can work with it, which is what I will do now. So you can see that I've moved the negative 12 to the other side of the inequality sign and made it positive. And so this thing is now less than 0. Okay, so let's set about solving this, and what we will do once we have solved this is we will graph it, and from that graph it will become obvious to you, I hope, what the solution for this is. So, to work, we can take out a common factor, which I will do now. And so we're primarily concerned with solving this. Now, let's have a think. What we need to do is we need to find a factor of this, and for that we'll use factor theorem. If we put 1 into this, I don't think that's going to work. I don't think negative 1 will work. Let's try 2. So 8 minus 6 minus 4 plus 6. No, that's not going to work. I don't think negative 2 will work either because we'll get too many negatives. So let's think about 3. 3 cubed is 27 minus 3 times 9. That disappears. 2 times 3 is 6, that's negative 6 plus 6. Yes, that works. So let me just show you what I've got here. I'm using 3, so P3 in the terminology of factor theorem, minus 3 times 3 squared minus 2 times 3 plus 6. That is 27 minus 27 minus 6 plus 6, and that equals 0. Now, bear in mind, we're only doing this so that we can find factors. So our factor is x minus 3. Now, if you don't understand why it's positive here and negative here, the very short answer is that that's a solution to this, and this is one of the factors. Now, that may not help, but consider null factor law. If you want to make this equal 0, you have to make x equal 3. What this is saying is that essentially x is 3 in this case. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to find the other factors of this thing. So, x cubed minus 3x squared minus 2x plus 6. We're going to do a long division. What do I have to do to this x to get x cubed? Well, x squared. We'll do that. X squared times that gives me x cubed minus 3x squared. Interesting. There's no remainder here. So what I do is I bring down this, and because I'm going to be working in this column, I put a 0x in there just as a spacer. Okay, what do I have to do to x to get negative 2x? Well, I multiply it by negative 2, and that gives me negative 2x, and negative 2 times negative 3 rather, is positive 6, and my remainder is 0 again. So we have this factor, which is x equals 3, and we have this factor, x squared minus 2. We don't need the spacer in there anymore. And that factorizes to x and minus the square root of 2 and plus the square root of 2, because this is the difference of perfect squares, or the difference of two squares. Call it what you like, and that's the pattern to which it factorizes. So x is equal to negative root 2, x is equal to positive root 2. Now we have three solutions for this as if it were an equality, not an inequality. So the next step is to graph this thing so that I can show you where it is less than 0. So let's put in the x-intercepts. There is one at 3. There is one at the square root of 2, so that is 3. That is the square root of 2. And there is another at negative root 2 over here. And this is a positive cubic, so it looks like this. We are not concerned with this point here, but if we needed to concern ourselves with it, it is 12. We are concerned with where this function is less than 0. And it is less than 0 here and here. And so x has to be less than negative root 2, or x has to be between root 2 and 3. And those are the solutions for this inequality. So that is that, and that is this area here. Now I hope that made sense and that you found it useful and interesting. If you did, please like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye.